If you like these videos, please like, share, and subscribe. As the work continues in Israel, we want to address the question that everyone is asking: who is the Messiah and when he is arriving, and what will be he doing? How will anyone benefit from the coming of the Messiah? So, of course, first and foremost, we have to be able to identify who is the Messiah. In that sense, we will try to look into the prophecy of Isaiah, Yeshayahu, chapter 52, verse 13, together, and understand who is the Messiah. And the verse states the following: Hine yaskil avdi yarom venisa vegava meod. In English, we would have, and there's a little typo here, it is 13, not 23. Behold, my servant shall prosper. He shall be exalted and lifted up, and he shall be very high. Let us look into each part of this verse in Isaiah to try to understand who is the Messiah. So as we mentioned in our previous video, Rashi explicitly says it over and over and over and over again, every single time in the verses of his prophecy. When it's written, my servant, the Messiah, or Mashiach in Hebrew, and here everyone should try to make an effort to call it the Mashiach, the one that was anointed with the oil of Torah, the inner dimensions, the secrets of Torah, the cup of salvation that King David will drink, as we will explain in a further video what these metaphors are referring to, Bezat Hashem. Rashi says it is referring constantly, Hashem, talking in the throat of Isaiah the prophet, is referring to Yaakov. And he mentioned several and several times. And of course, Yaakov is referring to the house of Jacob, and of course referring to the Jewish people, as it was stated in the giving of the Torah on Mount Sinai, Titen et Torah le Beit Yaakov, to give the Torah to Beit Yaakov. The house of Jacob is the Jewish people. So that is very clear who is the Messiah. It is first and foremost a man of flesh and blood, as it described in the Rambam very clearly, that comes from the house of David, that will toil in Torah, that will bring the Jews back to Israel, that will usher the resurrection of the dead, and will usher the construction of the third temple. And the Mashiach is to the Jewish people what then the Jewish people as a collective nation is to all humanity. And as you can see here, the clear connection between the Mashiach as an individual to the Jewish people, where he reveals the innermost dimensions of Torah. As he will reveal it, we will see it further in other videos, Bezat Hashem, that Mashiach will be from a level which is higher from our forefathers, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, and even Moses, and even Adam HaRishon. He will teach them Torah to Avraham, Yitzhak, and Yaakov, and Moshe, and even Adam HaRishon. We will see this in a further video. But ultimately, when he taught the secrets to the Jewish nation will be able to share and uplift all humanity into redemption. So, how will the Messiah reveal himself to the world? Well, let us see right now. We mentioned in the verse in Isaiah, and I will bring it back in English, 5 elements in the revelation. The revelation is mentioned by behold. my servant, see the revelation of the Jewish nation, shall prosper, number 1, shall be exalted, number 2, shall be lifted up, number 3, and shall be very, number 4, high, number 5. In English, it's a little bit harder to understand, but in Hebrew, it's very clear, where it's mentioned, Venisa v'gavoa me'od. Gavoa, it's high, me'od is very. So if we look into these 5 elements, let us look into here. He shall prosper. Uyaskil shall prosper. It's not referring to the material prosperity. It's not because we will be richer than everyone else. No, it shall prosper in the capacity to intellect the infinite divine light of Hashem, to convey this to humanity. Yaskil, that he will be able to translate into meaningful words, very high concepts within the divine. And this is what we will do, Bezat Hashem, in the coming videos, in the coming weeks. Bezat Hashem. Number 2, he shall be exalted. The fact that the Jewish nation, and I now enter into the realm of the soul, from the very first level, I come back for a moment, he shall prosper, is also referring to the fact that the physiological, once a Jew transfers to humanity the deepermost secrets of the divine wisdom, the eternity enters into his physiological body. So he is already eternal at that point in time. That is the first level of the soul, the level of nefesh. The first level, the physiological soul, divine light already is united at that level. Number 2, as we are eternal like Hashem is. Number 2, he shall be exalted, is referring to the second level of the soul, the level of ruach, which is referring to the emotional refinement of the Jewish nation. When the nations will look at the Jews and see the refinement, they will be inspired to become more kind, more disciplined, more compassionate, more perseverant, more humble, more attached. And they will be redeemed from their emotions. That is, my servant shall be exalted. When the nations will look at the Jewish nation and perceive the emotional refinement and want to become like them. Number 3, and he will be lifted up, referring to the third level in the soul, the level of neshama, the level of the intellect. Higher than the level that we discussed before, yaskil. To be lifted up is referring to the capacity to transform the nature of the world into a proper place for humanity to live in, as we have been exiled within the nations of the world for the past 2,000 years. The purpose was to bring ideas to develop technology and science and medicine at all levels in order to improve the quality of life for all humanity. That is to utilize our intellect in order to improve the conditions for all human beings. Number 4, he shall be high. High is referring to the fourth level in the soul, to the level of chaya, the level of the living one connected to the study of Torah. As now humanity is looking into a direction for the future. And we all know that the only direction to the future is the Jewish nation, the Mashiach. This is the natural, intuitive expectancy of every person to be redeemed. And when you will look up, you will find a Jew that will be wanting to sit with you and study Torah and reveal to you the very source and root of your soul, as I do this for already a number of years. And ready to do that with each person that wants to do such a discovery of himself and redeem himself, to discover the root of your soul within Torah, to find your personal connection within Torah. This is one of the functions of Mashiach, to reveal the source of every person so you can serve Hashem at your greatest potential, and you can achieve full potential in your physical life. That is He shall be high. He will reveal the very source of your soul in Torah. And finally, very high. This is referring to the fifth level of the soul, the Yechida. The Yechida is the singular one, which is referring to the Mashiach himself as a person. The Yechida is that we are ready therefore, the Mashiach to the Jewish people, now the Jewish people to humanity. And it is the sense of that we sacrifice our own indulgence in this world in order to redeem humanity, in order to be here, to speak to you, to make ourselves available, to allow you to discover your very soul root, so you can serve Hashem in your highest potential. So I want to conclude today's discussion with a little story of what is Mashiach really doing in the world until today. And there's a story that our sages tell us. The story of Mashiach is the story of a gardener that goes from town to town, from house to house, and knocks on the door when he sees that people have a garden and suggests his services. He knocks on the door, he says, Shalom Aleichem, good morning, how are you doing? I see that you have a garden and I see that it could be improved. Would you like me to take care of your garden? To deal with it, to take care of your garden? And people would say, by all means, please come in. How much does it cost, etc.? They would fix. And Mashiach, nobody would know. Mashiach would come and the gardener would come and take care of the garden. He started taking the weeds out, putting protections for the little flowers to grow up, for the little trees, taking very good care of everything in the garden. And when he was done, he would start singing a nigun. So the people would come and see the gardener singing and say, what's the matter with you? Why are you singing to the plants? Are you crazy? Get out of here. And they would send them away. And our sages say, this is the story of the life of Mashiach. Mashiach comes to the soul of every human being, knocks on the soul, and suggests his service to improve his garden, to take care of his soul, to refine his soul. And when it's all done and he's about to enjoy, then that grain of pure faith in Hashem makes a person become to oppose the divine within himself. And he pushes that away. He pushes that sentiment of pure joy away to come back to this physical world of making money, of dealing with the physical things, etc., etc. So we all have to let the gardener take care of our garden. And Bezat Hashem, we will all have a beautiful garden until we can fulfill the Yud Basi Ligani Achoisikala, I have come back to my garden, my sister, my bride, where the essence of the divine presence was revealed in the beginning. May it be so in the soul of each and every one of us, Bezat Hashem, Techef Umiyad, and we will see the great redemption and celebrate together in Jerusalem. Be'amera be'ameinu. Amen.